To perform the best research, the best analysis, you need the best tools, and today's video is the introduction of our all-new chart type called volume candles. So we are going to go ahead and select volume candles. You'll notice that the chart quickly transitioned there because we now have volume candles activated. And one of the most important things you can take note of as you get started with this tool is a look at the size of the candles and bars on this chart. So for example, look at the size of this candle. It is not just a massive candle, it is also wider than most other candles. Look at the volume bar here. It is not just a massive volume bar, it is also wider than other volume bars. For example, watch our mouse here as we look in these low volume areas. Look how hard it is to see these low volume areas. Look at how narrow the bars are. This is what our new tool, Volume Candles, is all about. And that's because it adjusts all of the information on the chart to factor in volume and price. So what does that mean exactly? Well, what that means is that the larger the volume candle or volume bar, the more volume that occurred. And remember, volume is buyers and sellers transacting in real time. If there are tons of buyers and sellers, if shares, assets are moving back and forth, then the candle will be thicker, it will be bigger. That is the key to this new chart type. If there is very little trading volume, there's not many people trading it, you'll see very small, narrow bars like this. And that is the power of this tool because it attracts your attention like a magnet or something that you can focus in on right away to the price levels or the price action that attracted the maximum amount of volume. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the key to this tool. So we just drew this arrow here because look at the size of this candle. That is rather eye-catching, and now you can do quite a bit of research from there to understand that this price level on this day had a rather large amount of trading volume, especially relative to all the days before it or after it. And that is one of the key things about volume candles as you get started. Now, before we dive into some real life examples of how you can use this tool, let us remind you that it works across all asset classes. If the asset has volume, you can utilize this all new chart type, volume candles, just like this. So we're on Apple. You can see, look how massive this candle is. Look how massive the volume bar is. Look how small these candles are. Look how small the volume is. So we've now gone from Bitcoin to Apple. Now we will go to the Euro USD. So we're going from crypto to stocks and now to Forex. And you can see the exact same thing. Look at the size of this volume bar. And by extension, look at the size of this candle. Once again, you can spot the biggest volume moves on the most important days when this tool is activated. And just so you know, it even works for futures because if we go to gold futures, check it out. You can now see this information beautifully on the chart. And by the way, if you need help really comparing and contrasting this tool, watch this. We have gold futures here on a 4-hour chart. We are now going to also change this to gold futures, 4-hour chart, turn on volume candles. So now both these charts, let's do 5 days. Let's do 5 days, good. And we'll zoom in a little bit here so you can really see the difference. That's the key after all. So as you can see here, we have volume candles turned on here. But on this chart now, we are going to turn on regular candles. And what you're going to notice right away is the difference in these two charts. So let's zoom in. This is regular candles. Let's zoom in. This is volume candles. Now immediately you're going to notice something, which is look at the size of this candle. Look at the size of this candle. They're the exact same candle, but the one on the left is a volume candle, which means the candle is larger to adjust for the volume. Or look at this candle. But now look at it over here. So you can really visualize now why this chart type is so important, because you're going to be able to spot large volume days rather quickly. It just attracts your attention to it right away, and now you know that these are large volume days. Whereas if you look at a regular candlestick chart, which is still wonderful by the way, everything is essentially uniform, following the same structure. Even though there's this large volume here, the candles have not gotten much larger. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of volume candles. And now let us go to a chart here of volume candles and maybe illustrate some ways that you can think about this new tool. So we've gone to a 30-minute chart. We are looking at gold futures. Now this is rather interesting because as we zoom in, look at the sheer size of these candles, and thanks to volume candles, we can see that on this 30-minute chart, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, there was 90 minutes of high pressurized selling because the size of these candles relative to the candles after it are much larger, and we can confirm that with these volume candles as well. So that's just naturally going to catch your attention. And now you can ask yourself, is gold after this sell-off going to retrace this move? Is it going to go back up to these highs? Well, as an observation, if you notice right away, these candles are rather thin. These are not large candles at all. So there's something happening here whereby someone with more volume, more selling power, sold some gold futures down here. But the buying power has not picked up. In fact, one quick glimpse, you can see volume's been declining ever since. Look at this decline in volume since the sell-off. And now you must ask yourself, is there enough buying power and buying pressure to lift gold back up to its previous highs? Or should we be on watch for the simple fact that if price gets back to these levels, more volume and trading action will come into play? That is the power of this tool. That is why you might want to use volume candles. Now, as mentioned, this applies to anything with volume, stocks, futures, Forex. We've essentially shown you all of that. But let's go ahead and look at Tesla, and let's zoom out now to a weekly chart because this tool works on all time frames. Now, we've already drawn this white line here. This is to mark some key levels, and there's a reason why we drew this white line. The reason why we drew it is because look at the size of this candle here and the volume that occurred at that point in time. Lo and behold, though, Tesla's share price is back at these levels, and we can see that because of volume candles. You can just see the size of these candles and the volume that was involved back here in 2023, and we're back here right now. So this is interesting. If history repeats, if the same trading action is going to come into play, then we might see a spike in volume and a big decision coming in between buyers and sellers. That, ladies and gentlemen, is volume candles. This is our introduction to this new tool. And please keep in mind, if you right-click on the chart and go to settings, you can customize your volume candles just as you would any other chart type. So if you wanted to, for example, give your candles a white border like this, you could do that and still operate the volume candles as such. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope you enjoy this new tool.